For some time now, I've been thinking about how we capture memories, how we remember moments in our life, and how this digital age might be doing more harm than good in appreciating those moments. Because recently, something changed in my life. I picked up this used camera from Japan. It's a 35mm film camera, and it's older than me. By 14 years, actually. It's called the Canon AE1 program. And for half a year, I've been trying to find the words to explain what makes film photography so special, and to deconstruct all that it's taught me about being present, about appreciating a picture and the moment in which it was taken. But now I've found those words and I want to share them with you. This piece is dedicated to an emotional experience that we call nostalgia, and how an old film camera taught me more than I ever knew about the making of a memory. 6 months ago, I wanted to know what the fuss was all about with this film photography thing. Because for some time, I felt like I wasn't appreciating moments and pictures like they deserve to be. If a picture I had taken didn't look aesthetic or shareable, most times it would probably just end up in my camera roll somewhere. Or, for example, if there was a really nice sunset and I couldn't capture it properly with my phone, then my frustration with that would be stronger than my appreciation for the sunset. And so I felt like maybe I was the problem, but I didn't like the idea. So I decided to blame digital photography instead. Most of my photos, my documents, my social networks have all become super digitalized. And yeah, it's amazing in a lot of different ways. But I'm kind of at this age now where I'm questioning the need for the digitalization of everything. I'm questioning whether or not everything actually gets better with time, or whether or not we've actually hit this point of inflection. Whether we've gone past the point of doing good for ourselves and now unknowingly or knowingly doing harm. If you open up your camera roll on your phone and go to the last event or day out where you took a few pictures, have a look. You probably took about 10 or 20 variations of the same photo, or at least it's common for a lot of us. Take this for example. So this was, I don't know if you can see that, but this was in Lake Como, Italy, and I might like the background in this picture, I might like how I look in the other picture, but no one picture might have all of the things that I like about it in one photo. So subconsciously, my appreciation for that moment has now split across the number of pictures I've taken. No single picture is special anymore because I've trivialized the moment by taking 100 different variations of it. With a film camera, you're limited by the number of pictures you can take, which makes each picture more special. Then comes a deeper issue. When we're so focused on framing a picture to make it look more aesthetic or artificial, we're taking for granted the primary reason for taking a picture in the first place, to capture a memory. I feel like most of us, including me at times, have made the primary reason to take pictures to share it with other people, instead of capturing the moment, which is really quite sad if you think about it. And we often end up so fixated on our phones or digital cameras that we forget to live the moment that's unfolding right in front of us. Like, I think about a crowd of people who are recording a concert. They're literally there in the moment, and they're choosing to experience that whole moment through their phone. Like, how can we be there in the moment and yet be so distant? With a film camera, you take a picture and you're done. You can't even see what you've taken, so you have no option but to get back to the moment, the way it should be. And this is something that made me think, maybe this is the reason, or at least part of it, for why we don't feel nostalgic over recent memories anymore. It's because we're no longer prioritizing the powerful, multi-sensory experience of the moment, but instead we're choosing to experience it through our phone's screens. And that's another reason why I love film photography, because instead of taking away your focus, all the limitations of the film camera come together to make sure that you are much more intentional about the pictures that you're taking. If you have just one shot left in your film, then you're really gonna make it count. You're really gonna be looking around and taking everything in. You're asking yourself, what is it about this moment that I want to capture? What is it about this moment that's so special to me? It's an exercise in really being more present and mindful with the pictures that you capture. You can't just spam 100 pictures like you do with your phone. And so when I look at film photos that I've taken, I remember them so much better, all because of the intentionality and focus that surrounded the taking of that picture. One of the biggest lessons I've taken away from film photography, which I'm super grateful for, is that an imperfect photo doesn't take away from the moment itself. With a digital camera, if the picture's blurry, like, let's be honest, we're gonna delete it. Ain't nobody got time for that. Or at the very least, I'm not going to show it to other people or put it online. Because digital cameras and this world of artificial filtered pictures have made us place value on the picture rather than the moment. And it just didn't make sense to me that I could be having the time of my life with my friends, but if the pictures came out horrible, then I would delete them and allow the memory to be forgotten. With film photography, you somehow just feel more grateful that you have the moment captured. Even the ugliest photos can't take away from the beauty of the moment. That was cringe. I know, I'm the one who said it. I used to think that the more pictures you can take with a camera, the better. It was almost this sense of comfort that you'd always have room for mistakes, that you could take another picture if you took a bad one. But I never stopped to think that maybe, just maybe, limiting ourselves could be better for us. Every picture in a roll of film becomes more special because of its scarcity. I don't know why exactly, but it's almost this universally understood rule that scarcity increases value. Perhaps that's why we love printed photos so much, because it becomes a one of one, which is a lot more valuable than a collection of similar looking digital photos. I guess in a way I like the scarcity element because it reminds me a lot about life. Our life is passing, whether we like it or not. And digital cameras allow us to capture whatever we want, as much as we want, in crystal clear quality. And so subconsciously we've begun to feel as though time cannot escape us, as if we have power over it. But we don't. If you think about it, all we really have is this present moment and our memories. And every moment is so fleeting that if we really want our memories to last, we have to be attentive and present in the moments that pass. We have to be living life and experiencing it to the fullest. When I look back at an old childhood photo, it sparks a memory that plays in my head. And those memories only exist so vividly because I was actually there making them. When I would look at my phone's camera roll, all I would remember is the situation around the taking of the photo. Everything else was just a blur. And so using this old film camera has really been a wake-up call, that a picture has a primary purpose to capture the moment, and everything else isn't really important in the grand scheme of things. Looking back at pictures shortly after you've taken them helps you to consolidate those memories better. There's a lot of science out there on spaced repetition where you look at things again and again periodically, and the more you do, the better it sticks in your mind. We might not do this often with digital images, I've found, but with film cameras, you're kind of forced into it. Because you don't know what your pictures look like when you take them, and then you develop them like maybe a few weeks later, when they come back, you're obviously going to want to see them. When that moment comes where you can see them for the first time, each moment comes back to you again and again. It's like a really cool experience. And it usually comes at this sweet spot in time where you're sort of forced to recall those moments, but not late enough that you've kind of forgotten the moment entirely. And so when you're forcing your brain to recall those moments like that, those memories become strengthened. Also, I find myself sending those pictures to other people, especially if they were in them. And that becomes a really nice shared experience and just overall contributes to that sort of consolidation, if you like. So I definitely recommend for you to have a look at your pictures now and again, even if it is on your digital cameras. Learning how to use this camera has not been easy. I've been using this mirrorless camera for like nearly 2 years now, and I thought I had the basics down. But using this has made me realize that I never really knew them as well as I thought. That, combined with the whole process of loading the film, keeping it enclosed, shooting with manual settings, then unwinding the film, getting it developed and scanned, introduces so many more steps to actually getting our picture that it really reminds me of how easy we have it nowadays. We have phones now which can take pictures for free. They can adapt to whichever situation that you're in. You can preview them on a screen, send them to other people, or even print them. It's bizarre. But film photography makes you appreciate a part of history where that wasn't the case. It adds story, complexity, and intentionality to every single picture that you take. And what you're left with is this culmination of your time and energy with this signature, unique film look. Some might think that it's impractical in this day and age, and you know, fair enough, but the way I see it, I've developed a whole new appreciation for photography and how much we've been taking it for granted. All in all, I feel like this has just been a metaphor for the bigger picture I'm seeking in life. To sort of figure out how to think and act in a way that can bring meaning and joy into our everyday lives. There's a very small community of people out there like me who don't want to do things for superficial or artificial reasons. They're willing to try something like this if it leads to a better life or a better appreciation for some part of it. And for the longest time, I've had to just snap myself out of this excessive nature, this almost individualist mentality that we want anything and everything for ourselves right this minute. We want all of the reward but none of the trials. We want all of the worldly distractions but none of the painful truths. It's never easy or comfortable to question what we're doing, to identify our mistakes or decide to act upon it. But as always, I'll be here trying to figure things out and sharing my thoughts with you guys. You don't have to buy one of these, that's not the point of this video. To be honest, most of you would probably get fed up with it and just resort back to a digital camera, and I don't blame you. I still don't think that it's exactly a replacement either. I still love digital photography and video. I love the art of making something look nice just as much as anyone else. But at the same time, if something can make me appreciate every second of my life, make me more present, offer me more nostalgia, and create beautifully unique pictures all at the same time, how could I not take up that opportunity? This camera has taught me more about the making of a memory than any book, person, or tool has. And I've still got a lot more videos to share on this topic, so you'll definitely be seeing this baby again. As always, thank you for watching. Leave a lemon emoji if you've made it this far. Subscribe to my weekly newsletter, Life Lemons, and I'll see you in the next one.